Hello, my friend. Today, I want to tell you a simple story. It is about a boy, a teacher, and something he did not understand. Some people come into our lives and leave quietly, but they change something inside us. They teach us more than books or lessons. Have you ever met someone who smiled at you, listened to you, and made you feel safe? This story is about a person like that. At first, I did not know I loved her. She was just my teacher. But one day, when she was gone, I felt something break inside me. Maybe you had a person like that too, someone you still remember, someone who helped you grow, even if they did not know it. This is not just English listening practice. This is a story about feeling, memory, and quiet love that never had a name. Let us begin. The title is I Loved My Teacher. My name is Daniel. I was a quiet boy in school. I did not talk much, and I was not good at making friends. I lived with my grandmother in a small town. My parents worked far away. I only saw them a few times a year. Every morning, I walked to school alone. I liked the sound of birds and the cold wind on my face. School was not easy for me. I was not fast at reading or math. I often felt nervous when the teacher asked questions. The other kids played together during break time. I watched them from a bench near the tree. I liked being alone. One day, we got a new English teacher. Her name was Miss Emma. She was young, kind, and always smiled at us. She looked different from other teachers. She wore simple clothes, but her eyes were bright, like she really saw us. On the first day, she said, I do not care how smart you are. I care how kind you are to each other. Something in me woke up when I heard that. No teacher had said something like that before. Miss Emma asked me a question in class. I was afraid. My hands were cold, and my voice was shaking. But she waited, she smiled, she did not rush me. I said the answer slowly, and she nodded. Good job, Daniel. No one had said good job to me in a long time. It was a small thing, but it stayed with me. That night, I could not sleep. I thought about her smile and how it made me feel different, maybe special. I did not know it yet, but something had started to grow inside me. A quiet feeling, a soft light. Miss Emma started to notice me. She asked me to help her carry books or clean the board after class. I always said yes. She spoke to me like I mattered. She asked about my grandmother and my favorite books. No one had asked me things like that. One afternoon, she sat next to me during lunch. She gave me half of her apple and said, You look tired today. Daniel. I smiled, but I was confused. I was just a student. She was my teacher, but I liked being near her. I felt calm. That day, my classmates looked at us and whispered. I heard someone say, Daniel thinks he's special because Miss Emma likes him. I pretended not to care, but inside, my heart was shaking. I did not want to lose the only person who saw me. After that, I became quiet again. I still helped Miss Emma, but I avoided sitting close or talking too much. But she noticed. One day, she looked at me and said softly, Are you okay? Daniel, did I do something wrong? I shook my head, but I could not meet her eyes. My throat felt dry. I wanted to say something, but the words stayed inside. That night, I stood in front of the mirror. I looked at my face and asked myself, why does my heart hurt when I see her? I was only 15. I did not know what to call that feeling, but it was there, growing, like a flower in a quiet field. One morning, she gave me a note. It said, You are stronger than you think. Keep learning. Keep trying. I believe in you. I put the note in my book and read it every night. Her words were like a warm blanket over my small heart. But the more I felt, the more I wanted to run away. I was afraid of what this feeling meant and what it could not be. As weeks passed, I began to change. I studied harder. I answered more questions. I wanted her to see me, to be proud. But I also felt something heavy. I could not tell her what was in my heart. I did not have the words for it. Some days, I stayed behind after class just to be near her. Other days, I left quickly, afraid of my own feelings. One day, she laughed with another teacher in the hallway. I watched her smile and felt a strange pain in my chest. I asked myself, why do I feel jealous? I had no right to feel that way. She was not mine. She was just my teacher. That night, I sat at my desk and wrote her name again and again on a piece of paper. Then I tore it up. I wanted to forget her, but I could not. Every word she said, every smile she gave, stayed with me like a song. I tried to act normal in class. I looked at the board, not at her face, but inside, I was lost and confused. One day, I saw her talking to another student. She placed her hand gently on the girl's shoulder. That small touch broke something in me. I went home and cried alone in my room. Not loud, just soft tears, falling into my pillow like silent rain. I told myself, you are just a boy. She is kind to everyone. Do not imagine things. Do not fall too deep. But the more I tried to stop, the more my feelings grew. Quiet, warm, painful, like loving a star you can never touch. I did not tell anyone, not my grandmother, not my classmates. It was a secret I carried alone, like a stone in my pocket. It was the last week of school. The air felt heavy, like something important was ending. I did not want summer to come. Miss Emma wrote on the board, "Goodbye is not the end. It is a new beginning." Her voice was calm, but her eyes looked sad. Students talked about vacations and new schools. I sat quietly, watching her pack her things. I wanted to say something, but I was afraid. After class, she stood at the window. The light touched her hair. I walked slowly to her desk with the note in my pocket. I had written it the night before. Just a few words. Thank you for seeing me. I will never forget you. Daniel. My hands were shaking. My heart was loud. I placed the note on her table and turned to leave, but she called my name. She looked at the note and smiled. Thank you, Daniel, she said softly. You have a kind heart. You will go far. I wanted to tell her everything, that I loved her in a quiet, honest way, that she changed me, that I would miss her forever. But I could not. The words stayed in my throat like stones. I only nodded and said, "Thank you." Miss Emma, she reached out and touched my shoulder. "You are special," she whispered. "Never forget that." Then she turned to the window again. I walked home with tears in my eyes, but also peace in my heart. I had said goodbye, even without saying everything. Years passed. I finished school. I went to college. I met new people, learned new things, and slowly grew into the person I wanted to be. But sometimes, on quiet nights, I still thought of her. Miss Emma, her voice, her smile, the way she made me feel seen. I never saw her again. She left town after that year, but she stayed in my heart like a light that never went out. When I became a teacher, I remembered her. I tried to speak kindly. I looked into my students' eyes and said, "I believe in you." One day, a quiet boy gave me a note. Just 3 words, "Thank you, teacher." and I felt something warm inside me again. That day, I finally understood. Love is not always loud, it is not always returned, but it can still change a life forever. I loved my teacher, not in the way you see in movies, but in the way a heart learns to trust and hope again. She gave me more than lessons. She gave me courage, kindness, and a reason to believe in myself when no one else did. I never told her how I felt, but maybe she knew. Maybe the heart speaks even when the mouth stays silent. Now, I tell my students what she told me. You are stronger than you think. I believe in you, and I mean every word. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next video.